April 6, 1453. Constantinople has 47 days left. You don't know that, of course. Nobody does. The city has survived for 1,123 years. It's been besieged 23 times and never fallen. The Theodosian Walls, those massive triple fortifications, have protected Constantinople since 413 AD. They're the strongest defensive system in the medieval world. But this time is different. Outside the walls, 80,000 Ottoman soldiers are camped. Sultan Mehmed II, just 21 years old, has spent months preparing. He's brought the largest cannons ever built. One of them, the basilica, is 27 feet long and fires 200-pound stone balls. When it fires, the sound can be heard 10 miles away. Inside the walls, you have maybe 7,000 defenders. The population has shrunk from 500,000 in the glory days to perhaps 50,000 now. Entire neighborhoods are abandoned. Gardens grow where houses once stood. The Byzantine Empire, which once controlled the Mediterranean, North Africa, and the Middle East, is now reduced to this single city and a few nearby towns. You wake in your house near the Forum of Constantine. The city is quiet. Too quiet. Everyone knows the siege is coming. Many wealthy families have already fled, to Italy, to the Greek islands, anywhere but here. But you stayed. This is your home. Your family has lived in Constantinople for generations. Your grandfather remembered when the Fourth Crusade sacked the city in 1204. Christians attacking Christians. The empire never fully recovered from that betrayal. Now Muslims at the gates, and this time they have technology, numbers, and a determined young sultan who has vowed to take the city or die trying. Emperor Constantine XI, the last Roman emperor, though nobody knows that yet, has been organizing defenses. The Italian mercenary Giovanni Giustiniani commands the land walls. Venetian and Genoese sailors man the chain across the Golden Horn. It won't be enough. In 47 days, the walls will be breached. The empire that began with Augustus Caesar in 27 BC will end. The Middle Ages will end. The Renaissance will accelerate. The world will change. But right now, the sun is rising, and you have a city to defend.
You walk to the land walls, the Theodosian Walls that have protected Constantinople for over 1,000 years. They're the reason the city survived so long. They're also why Mehmed II is so determined to break them. The defensive system is extraordinary. First, a moat 60 feet wide and 22 feet deep. Then an outer wall 27 feet high, then a terrace. Then the inner wall, 40 feet high and 15 feet thick. Add 96 towers spaced along the walls, each rising even higher. Armies have broken themselves against these walls. Arabs tried 7 times between 674 and 718 AD, failed every time. Bulgarians tried, failed. Various other besiegers over the centuries, all failed. But Mehmed has something previous besiegers didn't: advanced gunpowder artillery. You see the damage already. Ottoman cannons have been firing for days during preliminary bombardments. The basilica cannon, that monster, can only fire 7 times a day because it takes 3 hours to cool down and reload. But each shot does tremendous damage. You see craters in the walls where 1,000-pound stones struck. Defenders are desperately repairing damage at night. Timber frames, rubble fill, barrels packed with earth. They're literally racing against the cannons, fixing by night what's destroyed by day. Giovanni Giustiniani, the Genoese mercenary Emperor Constantine hired to command the land walls, is everywhere. Shouting orders, inspecting defenses, encouraging troops. He's experienced, professional, brave. His 700 men are worth 3 times their number. But you count defenders on the walls? 7,000 maybe. To defend 14 miles of fortifications, that's 1 man every 8 feet. Impossible. The Ottomans have 80,000 soldiers, plus irregulars, plus the Janissaries, elite infantry troops, the Sultan's personal guard, fanatical and superbly trained. Someone points to the Ottoman camp. You see movement, trenches being dug, artillery being positioned. The massive chain of logistics feeding that army, food, ammunition, equipment. The Ottomans are organized, well-supplied, determined. You look at your fellow defenders, old men, boys, a few professional soldiers, volunteers from Italy who came to defend Christendom, sailors from the Venetian and Genoese ships trapped in the harbor. This should be hopeless. Maybe it is. But these walls have held for 1,040 years. Maybe they'll hold one more time. They won't. But you don't know that yet.
Midday, and you join the crowds at Hagia Sophia, the Church of Holy Wisdom. The greatest building in Christendom, the architectural miracle that has defined Constantinople for 900 years. The interior still takes your breath away. The dome, impossible, floating, held up by seeming magic, rises 180 feet above the floor. Golden mosaics cover every surface, glittering in candlelight. Marble columns from ancient temples support galleries. This is what remains of Rome's glory. The church is packed, not for regular services, for desperate prayer. People know what's coming. They're begging God, the Virgin Mary, the saints for a miracle. Constantinople has survived so many times before through divine intervention. Surely God won't abandon his city now. Orthodox priests conduct continuous liturgy. The chanting echoes through the dome. Incense smoke rises toward those golden mosaics showing Christ, Mary, saints, emperors. The smell, beeswax candles, incense, unwashed bodies, fills the space. You notice the theological tensions. The union of the churches happened just months ago, a desperate political move. Emperor Constantine agreed to reunite the Orthodox and Catholic churches, accepting papal authority, hoping Western Europe would send military aid. It didn't work. Some aid came. A few hundred Italian soldiers, some Genoese ships, but not the armies Constantinople needs. And the union split the city. Many Orthodox believers refused to accept it. They'd rather see the Sultan's turban than the Pope's tiara, as one priest famously said. The theological dispute seems petty now with 80,000 Ottomans outside the walls, but religion matters to people. Its identity, culture, civilization itself. An icon of the Virgin Mary, the Hagia, Constantinople's patron protector, is paraded through the church. People reach out to touch it, kiss it, weep before it. This icon has protected the city for centuries. Surely it will work one more time. You pray, not really believing, but what else can you do? Your grandfather told stories of previous sieges. God always saved Constantinople, always. Except this time, he won't. In 47 days, Ottoman soldiers will enter this church. They'll break the icons. Mehmed II will claim the building for Islam, and Hagia Sophia will become a mosque. But right now, it's still Christendom's greatest church, and it's filled with desperate prayer.
You walk to the Golden Horn, the natural harbor that has made Constantinople wealthy for centuries. But today, it's a trap. The entrance is blocked by a massive chain, not the Byzantines' chain, the Ottoman chain. Mehmed's navy controls the Bosphorus. Inside the harbor, trapped, are 26 ships. Venetian, Genoese, Byzantine. They can't leave, they can't get reinforcements. They're prisoners in their own harbor. The Byzantine navy, once the most powerful in the Mediterranean, is now reduced to a handful of outdated vessels. The empire that invented Greek fire and dominated the seas for centuries can barely float a dozen warships. You see sailors repairing ships, knowing it might be futile. A Venetian captain argues with a Genoese merchant. They're supposed to be allies defending Christianity, but old commercial rivalries die hard. Venice and Genoa have been economic competitors for centuries. Even facing annihilation, they can't fully cooperate. Emperor Constantine has begged them to work together. Mostly they do, but the tension is visible. Someone points across the water. On the northern shore you see movement. Ottoman soldiers. They're building something. Roads, ramps. Then you realize what's happening. Mehmed is going to drag ships overland. The Golden Horn's northern shore is outside Byzantine control. If Mehmed can transport ships over the hills behind Galata, the Genoese colony, and launch them into the Golden Horn, he'll control the harbor. The chain won't matter. He'll attack from inside. It sounds impossible. Ships weigh tons. The terrain is rough, but Mehmed has engineers, resources, and determination. Over the next weeks, he'll do exactly that. 70 ships dragged on greased logs over hills and launched into the Golden Horn. It's one of the most remarkable logistical achievements in medieval military history, and it will doom Constantinople. With Ottoman ships in the harbor, the defenders have to spread their limited forces even thinner. The sea walls, thinner and weaker than the land walls, suddenly become vulnerable. A Greek sailor spits into the water. "We're doomed," he mutters. "The Ottomans have us surrounded. Land, sea, everything." He's not wrong, but you're not ready to accept it yet. Constantinople has survived impossible odds before. Maybe divine intervention, maybe last-minute relief from the west. Maybe something. The harbor water is calm, deceptively peaceful. In 7 weeks, it will run red. Late afternoon, Emperor Constantine XI addresses the defenders at the land walls. You join the crowd gathering to hear him. Constantine is 48 years old. He became emperor just 4 years ago, inheriting an empire that barely exists. No money, no army, no territory beyond this city and a few islands. He knows he's likely the last Roman emperor, though he'd never say it aloud. But he's determined to go down fighting. He's not wearing the full imperial regalia. No time for ceremony. Simple armor, a sword. He looks like a soldier, not a monarch. That's intentional. He needs fighters, not courtiers. His speech is direct. This city has stood for over 1,000 years. We are the heirs of Rome, of Constantine the Great, of Justinian. We defend not just walls and buildings, but civilization itself. Western Christendom has abandoned us, but God has not. Fight bravely, die with honor, and if we fall as Romans. The crowd responds with a roar, not confidence, desperation, but desperation can be powerful. You notice the diversity of defenders: Greeks, Italians, Catalans, even a few Germans, Orthodox Christians, Catholics. They've put aside theological differences to face the common threat. Sort of. The religious tension still simmers beneath. Giovanni Giustiniani stands beside the emperor. The Genoese mercenary is the real military commander. Constantine is the symbol, the legitimacy, the last emperor. But Giustiniani is the tactician who might actually save the city, if anyone can. Constantine moves through the crowd speaking to individuals, thanking them, encouraging them. He has a gift for this, making each person feel seen, valued, essential. He stops near you. "Where are you from?" he asks. "Born here, Majesty," you reply. "My family has been in Constantinople for 6 generations." He nods. "Then you know what we're defending. Not just this city, our heritage, our faith, our civilization." You want to believe him. You want to believe this desperate defense will succeed, that God will intervene, that Western reinforcements will arrive, that the walls will hold. But watching Constantine's eyes, you see something else. Resignation. He knows how this ends. He's going to fight anyway, and die anyway, because that's what emperors do. In 7 weeks, Constantine XI will die on the walls, sword in hand, his body never recovered, the last Roman emperor, falling with his city. But right now, he's still fighting, still hoping, still leading. Night falls, and you're assigned to wall duty. 4-hour shifts, watching for Ottoman movement, ready to sound the alarm if an attack begins. The walls at night are eerie. Torches every 100 feet cast flickering shadows. Braziers glow, small fires for warmth. The spring nights are still cold. You huddle near one, sharing watch with an old Greek merchant who's never held a weapon before, and a teenage boy trying to look brave. Beyond the walls, the Ottoman camp stretches for miles. Thousands of campfires. You can hear drums sometimes, singing. They're celebrating something. Maybe their impending victory. The old merchant mutters prayers. Kyrie Eleison, Lord have mercy, Theotokos, protect us. Orthodox prayers repeated endlessly. The boy asks questions. Do you think we'll survive? Will the Italians send help? Is it true the Sultan has cannons that can destroy the walls in one shot? You don't have answers. Nobody does. A sound from beyond the walls. Movement. You tense, grab your spear. False alarm. A bird, or maybe a rat. The nerves are getting to everyone. Hours pass slowly. The cold seeps into your bones despite the brazier. You think about your family sleeping in the city below, your wife, your daughter. If the city falls, what happens to them? Ottoman soldiers have 3 days to plunder. That's traditional after a siege. 3 days of looting, violence, slavery. You've heard stories from other fallen cities. Men killed, women and children enslaved, churches desecrated. It's what happens. It's war. A whistle from down the wall. Something happening. You grab your weapon ready, but it's just a relief shift arriving. Your 4 hours are up. You stumble back to your house exhausted. Your wife is awake, waiting. Any news? No. Same as yesterday. They're out there, we're in here, nothing changes. But everything is changing. Each day, the Ottoman siege tightens. Each day, supplies dwindle. Each day, hope fades a little more. You sleep fitfully. Tomorrow you'll wake to another day of siege, and another, for 47 more days. And then it ends. Another dawn, another day of siege. Except this day feels different. You sense it in the air. Tension, dread, something building. The Ottoman bombardment intensifies. Cannon fire every few minutes. The walls shake, stones crack. Defenders rush to repair damage, but they're exhausted. 47 days of siege have worn everyone down. Food is scarce, water rationed, disease spreading. Some defenders have deserted, sneaking out at night, taking their chances with the Ottomans rather than die in the city. You don't blame them, but you stay, not from bravery, just nowhere else to go. May 29th, 1453, the final assault begins at 1:30 a.m. Wave after wave of Ottoman soldiers attack the walls. First, the irregulars,
expendable troops meant to tire the defenders. Then, the regular army. Finally, the Janissaries, elite soldiers in their distinctive uniforms, disciplined and deadly. The defenders fight desperately. Giovanni Giustiniani commands brilliantly, rushing to wherever the walls are threatened. For hours, Constantinople holds. Then Giustiniani is wounded, badly. He has to be evacuated. The defenders panic. Their commander is gone. Who will lead them now? Emperor Constantine takes Giustiniani's place. He fights like a common soldier, sword in hand, rallying defenders. But it's not enough. Around dawn, the Ottomans find a small gate, the Kirkaporta, left unlocked. 50 soldiers slip through, then more. They raise Ottoman flags on the walls. The defenders see the flags. Panic spreads. The city has fallen. Someone opens the main gates. Ottoman soldiers pour through. Constantine XIX fights to the death. His last words, according to legend, "The city is fallen, and I am still alive." Then he tears off his imperial insignia and charges into the Ottoman ranks. He's never seen again. By mid-morning, it's over. Sultan Mehmed II enters Constantinople riding a white horse. He goes to Hagia Sophia and declares it a mosque. The Byzantine Empire, successor to Rome, guardian of ancient knowledge, preserver of classical civilization, ends after 1,123 years. The survivors? Enslaved, ransomed, or integrated into Ottoman society. The city is rebuilt as Istanbul, capital of the Ottoman Empire. Hagia Sophia becomes a mosque, its Christian mosaics covered but not destroyed. Today you can visit Istanbul, walk the walls, enter Hagia Sophia, now a museum, then a mosque again. The building Constantine XI defended still stands. The city he died for still thrives, though under a different name. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Middle Ages. It pushed scholars west, bringing ancient manuscripts to Italy, accelerating the Renaissance. It closed Mediterranean trade routes, prompting Europeans to seek ocean routes to Asia. It changed history, but in April 1453, you just knew the Ottomans were at the gates, and your city, your home, your civilization had 47 days left.